Friendship is defined as a relationship of mutual affection between people. I'd like to say that I've got a lot of friends, whether they are really close friends, mutual friends, friends online. I have a big circle of friends and I really appreciate all the friends that I have. A lot of them I have been friends with for a short amount of time, and a few that I have been friends for many, many years, especially my best friends from high school, which I feel like I've known them for about 20 years now, and I don't know what I would have done without them, and I appreciate having them in my life, especially the amount of time that we've been together and been friends, and the support that they give me and all that sort of stuff, and just being able to hang out and chat and have fun and go and experience things together as friends is always amazing to be able to experience with people that you like. I bring up the topic of friendship because for some time now, it's been on my mind that I sometimes feel like I'm not being a good friend. And I just want to sort of maybe get that off my chest, I suppose, get it out of my mind, think out loud, as it were, which I like to do. And I find that being friends with someone is a really good thing. There's a lot of positivity in having a friend. There's also the hard parts of a friendship. And sometimes for me, it's always hard to express myself, express my feelings when something happens with that friendship. If, something's going on, and, there's, quietness between the two, and you don't know how to approach it. Now, I'm the type of person that usually likes to find out whether or not that person is okay. I will usually ask, "How are you? Hope you're okay. You've been quiet for a while. Is something wrong?" But there are times where I don't usually do that. I'm usually the one that stays quiet. And then, then my friends turn to me and ask me, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And for me, when I have to respond to a message like that, sometimes, actually, no, not even sometimes, most times, I am very short and to the point with my responses. And it may come across very, very distant, is what I've heard from some of my friends. But unfortunately for me, that's just the way that I am. If I'm not feeling myself, I usually, and I always tend to be very short with people. And I know it's not really a good thing to do that. And I don't mean it in any kind of negative way. I just know that with me, I tend to want to just be left alone to my own devices to figure out my emotions and my thoughts in my own time. But I know that there are people out there who aren't like that. So I know that with some of my friends, they like to hash it out. They want to talk. They want to make sure that that I'm okay, and that whatever it is that I'm feeling, that they want me to know that they are there for me if I need to vent, or if I need to discuss what's happening in my life. But sometimes for me, it's just, I just want to figure out some things. And I know it's not usually a good thing to keep it to myself. Because obviously, you can only hold in so much emotion to the point where you might explode. And I have had those moments where I've held in emotions, that I've held in thoughts and feelings about certain things that are happening in my life, that when someone asks me if I'm okay, I break down. And I'm pretty sure there are some people out there who are the same. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. At least I don't see anything wrong with being able to keep things to yourself. But then, it does get to a point where if you do end up breaking down, then you know that there's definitely something wrong. And then at the same time, you turn around, you're like, well, why didn't I reach out? Why didn't I ask my friends for help? It's because you don't want to talk about it. Those emotions, you don't want to make it real, essentially. You don't want it out there in the universe. And so, because you don't want to talk about it, because you don't want to make those emotions real, you keep it to yourself. And I am talking from experience. I do this all the time. It's not something that I am proud of, but it happens. And I'm just one of those people who would prefer to keep that sort of stuff to myself until I am ready to talk about it with my friends. There are things that happen, within a friendship where you want to discuss it with them, but sometimes you feel a little awkward about talking about it. Because depending on the topic, it could be something that's happening in your family. It could be something happening, with your friends, essentially. Sometimes it's hard to confront your friends when there's something wrong with the friendship that you've got going on. Something may or may not happen, and then you think to yourself, but then why didn't they come and talk to me about it? There are times where you want to talk to your friend, but then because you're waiting for your friend to come to you with the problem that they have, you don't want to overstep that line and confront them with, hey, I know you have this issue. Why haven't you spoken to me about it? And so that's the hard part about friendships. It's being able to go back and forth with your problems. Like, if you have problems with each other, is probably the main reason why I wanted to sort of discuss my thoughts about friendships. Because having friends, like I said at the beginning, is a wonderful thing. Being able to surround yourself with like-minded people, with people who care about you, who support you, is an amazing thing to have. To have a good circle of friends is very rare to find. And especially in the world that we're living in right now, in the conditions that we're all living in right now, where we have restrictions in not being able to visit people or family or friends or anything like that. So being able to keep in contact with them is definitely something you need to keep up with. And and I am saying this out loud more so that I do it myself, because I have been noticing with me especially that I am not reaching out to my friends as often as I'd like to be, or as often as I used to be. I used to be very much the one that will reach out and communicate with my friends a lot to see how they are, what they've been up to, if they've got any issues, if they need a catch-up session. I know that I always need a catch-up session with my friends. I always want to go see them a lot because I don't get to see them very often. I don't get to see them as much as I used to because, life happens. Life gets in the way. Work gets in the way. Friends will have partners, and you may be the single one, and I'm saying this from experience. I am the single one out of my closest friends, and sometimes I feel like they've got a lot going on in their life that sometimes they just want to spend their time with their partners, which is totally fine. But then sometimes I feel left out, and so that's why I end up having these days where I feel alone, or I feel like no one wants to talk to me or who wants to see me. And I know that this is all in my head. I know this. And I know that my friends, they love me, they care about me, they support me. And I know for a fact that they do not feel the same way that I do. They do not think that I am alone because they are always there for me. And I keep telling myself this, but sometimes it's very hard to convince my brain. But anyway, if you have friends in your life, keep them as close as you can. Communicate with them. Tell them how much you care about them, how much you love them. Always be there when they need you, because then they will do the same for you. I will keep saying this. Make sure that you are communicating with your friends. Talk to them. Even if it's just a, hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Or, how was your weekend? How's your week been? Just talk to them. Just show them that you are thinking about them. Show them that you care about what's going on in their life. But also respect their boundaries. If they don't want to talk, and if they say they don't want to talk, then that's totally fine. Let them do their thing, and they'll get back to you when they are ready. But let them know that you will be there for them no matter what. So that when they are ready to come back to you, when they are ready to talk about what's been going on in their life, you will be there to listen, and they can count on you for that. Your friends are like gold. They're precious. And they're very hard to find. So if you've got someone in your life that you consider a really good friend, a best friend, make sure you are always there for them. Make sure you are always in contact with them. And if there are friends out there that you have lost contact with, but you want to get back into contact with them, just start off with a hi. How are you? They'd appreciate the fact that they have been on your mind. Remember, your friends are also like family. So if you consider them to be really close, and if you've known them for a very long time, they are part of your family. So don't go and treat them like crap just because you're having a bad day. Make sure that if you are having a bad day, just let them know that you want to be left alone for a little bit and that you will get back to them once you feel a little better. Or if you feel like talking to them later on. But make it known. Don't be silent. I need to do that too. I need to do that with my friends. And I want them to know that I love them, that I care about them. I am always there for them whenever they need me. And I know that they are there for me whenever I need them. I love all of my friends. And I know that all my friends love me. So make sure you know that too. If you love your friends and your friends love you, then you are having a great life. You got people there to support you whenever you need it. Use that. If you're having a bad day, if you're not the type of person to hold it in, if you're not the type of person to go silent like me, then speak to your friends. Open up to them. Tell them, I've had a crappy day. I want to catch up. Can we see each other? Can I talk to you on the phone? Are you free? There's nothing wrong with asking for help, for reaching out, even if it is just a vent. I know for a fact your friends will be happy to listen to you. They may even have some suggestions on how you can combat your crappy day, how to find another way to make you feel better. I will keep reiterating, communicate with your friends. Let them know you're there. They will let you know that they are there for you. And with all that said, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate all of you for being here, for being able to give me this platform to be able to discuss how I'm feeling about things. I hope that this podcast helps you in some way, that it'll get you going with the rest of your day and get you thinking about how to make your day better or how to make your thoughts better. In any case, thank you very much. You can find me on Twitch live streaming, twitch.tv/foolishfuji. You can also find my YouTube content over on youtube.com/foolishfuji. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say. You can find this podcast on all of the podcasts that you can think of: SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I will do my best to have this out, distributed to whatever platform you guys listen to. And yeah, I think that's it. Make sure to look after yourself and your mental health, and I'll speak to you soon.